Okay.
विकास सर, संदीप संचेती जी ज्वाइन हो गए हैं। अब ये किस नाम से हैं ये नहीं पता चल रहा यार, इनको कैसे वो करें। आगे इनको वो बनाना है, गेस्ट से प्रेजेंटर बनाना है।
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you for unmuting because I was waiting for that.
So, Arun sir, can I begin? Yes, Arun
Yes,
sir,
Arun
can
sir,
you begin?
He seems to be on mute right now.
I'll just check, sir. A warm good morning to one and all present here. On behalf of Arya College of Engineering and IT, I extend a hearty welcome to our eminent speaker, Dr. Sandeep. I also welcome all the participants and the dignitaries on the of National Education Policy. I'm sure this webinar would add to the knowledge pool of all the participants and open new avenues in this sector. Before I commence further, I would like to invite Professor Arun Arya, Principal, Arya College of Engineering and IT, for the formal welcome. Arun sir. Sir, आप audible नहीं हैं. Sir, you are not audible. Sir, you are not audible, sir. Vikas sir.
Good morning, one and all. In this webinar on implementation of new education policy, NEP 2020. First of all, I would like to warmly welcome the expert of today's webinar, the renowned academician of our country, distinguished educationist, part of policy making, Sandeep Sancheti sir, Provost Vice Chancellor, Marwadi University, Gujarat, and the former Vice Chancellor of different universities. Thank you, sir, for sparing some time for this webinar from your very busy schedule. I also welcome all the respected faculties and dear students from different institutions who are attending this webinar. And thank the dignitaries, the expert of today, Dr. Professor Sandeep Sancheti sir, and all the participants, dear faculty members, and my dear students. Thank you once again. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir. And now, before wasting any time, I take the privilege of introducing our eminent speaker, Professor Sandeep Sancheti. Professor Sancheti is an institution builder, policy planner, regular columnist on various academic policies, promoter of sports and higher education, and he's well known for intellectual strategic foresight. He is a PhD from Queen's University of Belfast, UK, and an MSc University, and he did his BTech from NIT Warangal. And currently, he is the Vice Chancellor of Marwadi University, Rajkot, and also the past President of Association of Indian Universities, New Delhi. Formerly, Dr. Sancheti headed 8 central government institutions of national importance. Thereby, he set a record of being the exclusive one to have done so. As a unique distinction, he has also served in a variety of institutions and private universities, affiliated institutions, government and deemed universities. He has worked as director of National Institute of Technology, New Delhi, NITK Suratkal. He was director in charge of NIT Trichy, NIT Calicut, SPA Delhi, and has also served as a mentor director of newly establishments of NIT Goa, NIT Puducherry, and NIT Sikkim. He has also led various private universities. Uh, he's been the vice chancellor of Manipal University as its president in a career spanning more than 37 years. He's a recipient of Commonwealth Scholarship and Fellowship under Colombo Plan and was a visiting faculty at Asian Institute of Technology, Bangkok. He is also known for his excellent reasoning and critical thinking skills and had opportunities to speak in various committees on education matters and has also been invited to address the members of parliament on issues of job opportunities and higher education. He was the chairman of AIEEE and also instrumental in designing new policies on engineering entrance examination as well as foreign and NRI admissions in the country. He's a member of Court and Council, Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. He is the chairman, Board of Governors for MLV Textile Engineering College, Bhilwara and Jodhpur Institute of Engineering and Technology, and is currently a member Executive Council at ACU London. He is also serving many professional bodies like SPICMACAY, FICCI, CI, EPSI, Atal Innovation Mission, etc. in different capacities. In addition, he is on various national level bodies of UGC, AICT, AIU for education related matters, and has been a part of Indian delegations abroad. He is a life fellow of IIT and various other committees. He has contributed more than 85 research papers in journals and conferences. He was a member of the 12th Plan Preparation Committee for MHRD, member Kakadar Committee for Review of NITs, member of Governing Council, ESCI Hyderabad, member Executive Council, AICT New Delhi, Chairman AIEEE, Chairman DASA scheme of MHRD, and he has headed various other committees and been on advisory boards of CBSE New Delhi, BCCI Mumbai, SAI New Delhi. He is a keen player of bridge and squash and is also an active member of Rotary International and various other social organizations. We are indeed privileged and honored to have such a personality amongst us. And now I would like to hand over to Professor Sancheti.
Thank you, Dr. Shalini Bhargav. Thank you so much for very nice and elaborate introduction. Probably it wasn't essential, but before I formally start, I will request that you'll have to give me permission to share the screen. So whosoever is the organizer may please do so that I can share the screen. I'll use PPT to make my points. And I'll also request if others can be muted, let those who want to raise a question or whatever point, possibly we'll take it in the end so that the flow is maintained and repeatability is also avoided. So let them raise their hand and one of you can coordinate the questions and answers. I'll be happy to answer all the questions as much as I can, depending upon your availability and the availability of time. I have no issues, I'll do that. And if not, I can share my email address and people can write to me on that in terms of questions and I'll try to answer that as well. Okay, so can you please give me the rights to share the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Please.
Sir, you can share a screen.
Sir, you are not audible. Sir, you are not audible.
Sir, your screen is visible, but your audio is not there.
Yes. Now I hope it is all right. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So very good morning once again, and thank you, Professor Arya, for this invitation, for inviting me to Arya College of Engineering for this particular address on National Education Policy, or we also call it New Education Policy 2020. Very happy to join you, and I've been associated and linked with the Arya College almost from the beginning, from the days it got started, right, with Anurag ji and various other sister organizations of the Arya group, either in Alwar or otherwise. I was always associated. I'm very happy to join you back. And a lot of my colleagues and friends have also served the Arya College. And Arun ji in particular is the member of some of the activities under which I am also contributing. So I'm very happy to join you all. So right now the time happens to be somewhere around 11:15. And if you permit me, I'll try to take 45 to 50 minutes for my presentation. And then we will have 15-20 minutes of Q&A if you have time. Depending upon your time, we can go ahead. Is that fine? Can I proceed with that time frame? Okay, great. Okay, so we are talking about NEP 2020. I'm mainly talking about the ABC and its implementation, because implementation of dozens of schemes would be a huge task to do in 45 minutes or 1 hour. I have chosen ABC for two reasons to talk you through ABC. ABC, probably you know, is the academic bank of credit. I have particularly chosen that because one, I have worked on this scheme extensively on behalf of UGC and the government, and we have given it a full shape. Number two, it is going to be probably one of the first major implementations of the NEP in the coming academic year. And therefore, all of us should be fairly well versed with that to implement it or use it or to further it. That is the reason why I have chosen ABC. But one could have talked about the initiatives, implementation of faculty development. One could have talked about implementation of autonomy. One could have talked about the NRF, National Research Foundation. One could have talked about the technology, that how will you implement technology, because there is a NETF which is going to come, National Educational Technology Forum. Various things are there. I have chosen ABC because to me it is very exciting, it is very practical, and it's highly academic in nature. Less of bureaucracy, less of regulatory, but highly academic in nature. So it is with this aim I'm trying to do that. Okay. So hopefully we'll now first start in first part, start with what is NEP, why was NEP needed, what are the key aspects of NEP, and what are the challenges and changes which are NEP driven. And then I'll come to ABC. So I'm dividing my presentation in two parts, and one obviously is NEP because you're talking about NEP, and second is within NEP, the ABC. So what was the need for the NEP? If some of you would like to know, or if some of you already know, don't mind. But these statements which I'm writing here are the statements recorded in the policy itself. Fragmented higher education system was a problem. Rigid separation of disciplines was a problem. Electrical will not talk to electronics, and electronics will not talk to computer, and mechanical will not talk to metallurgy or materials, and so on and so forth. Those were the banes. Still they are there. We need to remove those rigid separations, in our opinion. Limited access. Access is always an issue with the government, and government wants to increase capacity, provide people education near to their home in an affordable way. So these were the problems. Limited teacher and institutional autonomy. Most of us were bound by either technical university rules or maybe AICT rules or maybe something else which was there. Emphasis on research was poor. Governance and leadership was very poor or not optimal, as they say. Ineffectively regulatory system, which was very heavy and loaded and one yardstick for everything. And finally, large affiliating university never could drive the quality. These were all the reasons why NEP came into existence. All right. And these reasons must have existed for last 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, not in last year, but much earlier. And that is the reason why some of you know that there were many committees made before the Dr. Kasturi Rangan committee, which gave the NEP 2020. Those committees were Yashpal committee. Those committees were TSR Subramaniam committee. Those committees were also by Professor Hari Gautam, who lives in Jaipur itself, Professor Hari Gautam committee. There were various committees made from time to time. For some reason or other, their reports did not see light of the day. They did not find takers in full for whatever reasons, but doesn't matter. They also talked about some important point. And fortunately, the Kasturi Rangan committee took all of them, started with that, did a lot of good work, took their own time, maybe 1.5 to 2 years, had lots of consultations, and made sure that their hard work is kind of accepted and released as a policy. So that is what is our NEP. The reason for NEP is known to us. The path for getting the NEP done is also known to us. So in general, if I say about this policy, that what this policy is focused on reforms. And obviously, NEP has a potential to transform. Reform and transform are both needed. Corrections and changes, faster and smaller, big and small, everything is needed. So NEP should be a vehicle for making us change, make the education 21st century centric, make the education student centric, which it is not right now. Those were the kind of things which you can say NEP was targeting, and I'm sure it has done. It's a policy which will drive us. It's up to us how much we want to be driven to deliver the world-class education in pursuit of excellence, and it is full of dreams. I'm saying dreams because dreams are generally bigger, sometimes difficult to realize also. Sometimes it is in back of our mind sitting, so we want to achieve that. So that's why we call them dreams. We should all dream, but dreams sometimes can be big. One of the dream possibly could be that 10,000 institutions awarding degrees by themselves. Right now, if I ask you what is the number of institutions who are awarding degrees by themselves, you'll be surprised to know that that number is close to 1,000 or even less than 1,000 right now. And that has been achieved in 74, roughly 74 years. Now, in next 10, 15 years, we want to achieve 9 times more than that. So time-wise, we are something like 5 times lesser. And in terms of attainment, we are 9 times higher. So there is a factor of around 50, which is coming into play in terms of the speed with which we want to change the affiliation system or remove the affiliation system and give the autonomy to the institution. The policy is well researched, and that's why I said they received, even after releasing the draft document, they received that 2 lakh comments were received by them, and some of the comments may be a couple of pages and large number of points and large number of differing opinions. They absorbed all that, and by absorbing that, they could finally make out a policy. And therefore, you can say that this policy is kind of a very well researched policy, in my opinion, and therefore it is going to stay with us. It is going to help us. That is what I expect in general in terms of this particular policy. The policy is going to drive us for next 15, 20 years. That's my expectation. The policy has already set up some goals which are for next 15 to 20 years, like 10,000 institutions giving degrees is a target which has been set in the policy. So we believe that till around 2040, possibly this should be able to drive us. And before that, we should start working on the new policy framework once again, because times can change, knowledge changes very faster, the technological changes are even faster, and therefore we don't know which one will be vanishing and which will come back, and therefore what changes will be required. So hopefully this policy will exist for 15 to 20 years. This policy is not a shock treatment that it has discontinued everything of the past and it has started something new of the present. No. The policy, generally a good policy will be which will continue something good from the past and will also something like you can say will start something new for the present or the future. And therefore, this policy continues with the existing features of access, equity, quality, accountability, transparency, and all those parameters. They are further emphasized that we have to furthermore open the institutions, give facilities for those who deserve in terms of either reservation or a special provision for girls or for handicap or for the poor or for the people who are not academically so sound, whatever those policies can be there. Improve the quality in general, become accountable that we achieve the outcomes and goals, remain transparent in the sense that we tell what we are doing, how we are doing, why we are doing, and then try to achieve them. All that is required. But in my opinion, the policy will become very, very effective and good if all of us add these 3 parameters to this policy. And these 3 parameters, my dear friends, in my opinion, they are not necessarily listed in the policy as such. But I would say that these things are, essentially speaking, the aspects of speed, efficiency, and academic diversity. In general, we find our speed of change is very poor. In general, we find our efficiency in terms of effort and outcome is also very poor, the effort which we do and the results which we gain. And then we are not adhering to academic diversity or multidisciplinarity or something like that, which we call why not engineering can be very nicely mixed with arts, commerce, science, and vice versa, or medical, because most of the engineering innovation are either for in medical or for defense applications. And therefore, if you mix those things, there's nothing wrong. And therefore, Remember, in addition to the parameters given in the NEP, you need to work on the policy matters, which are speed, efficiency, and diversity. If all of you individually work on that, I'm sure we will be much better off in terms of what we are likely to achieve. Okay. The next aspect of NEP is the academic aspects. The first academic aspect is student centricity, that we will empower a student. They will choose what they want to do rather than we choose for them that what they should do. That's a wrong method in my opinion. And that's what probably policy has thought of, and therefore it's going to be student centric. And by the way, that student centricity is called as the education 4.0 as a broad definition. Okay, as a general definition, education 1.0 was Gurukul like education, 2.0 became when the books, printing and presses came, and 3.0 when the devices and internet and we started using technology for education, and 4.0 is nothing but the student-centric education, individualized, personalized education, you can say. So that is the major shift in academic aspect in education. It's not the vice chancellor or academic council or the department or the HOD or someone will decide everything fully for the students. The students will also have to play an important role. There can be a provision that there can be a 3-year degree can be done in 4 year and 4-year can be done in 3 year and like that also. So engineering degrees can also become faster. It may take some time to make regulations for that and implement it, but it is very likely that this will come under the framework of new policy. Some of the suggestions we have given for this under ABC, the Academic Bank of Credit. If you read those rules, you'll probably see those kind of efforts are visible, and those are available on the UGC website also. You should look for them. We are also trying to say under NEP 2020 that online and open and distance learning and virtual learning and flexible learning and mixed learning and hybrid learning and blended learning and high flex learning, all these are kind of helping each other. One mode can help one student, another mode can be another one, or mode mixing can be there. So acceptability of various modes will be there through NEP. That's what is expected. There is an educational technology framework. So till now we are resisting use of mobile and laptops in classrooms and examination halls. Probably that would be stopped, that would be opened up. Students will come in the class, they will take your class in the class, but they will still refer to certain things called notes or recording through technology and share things and ask questions, and all that will possibly happen through technology. We'll also follow the multidisciplinary approach, which is very, very essential because you know that most of the disciplines of, let's say, electrical, electronics, computers, IT are related in very many forms with very basic subjects. So are the cases with other ones which are there. And therefore, we should not be very tight that every course which I teach, let's say in computers or in electronics, is purely electronics and nothing sideways. And why only electronics or computers? You should do something from social sciences, humanities, performing arts, music, maybe something on commerce, and all those things can be done. Okay, so multidisciplinary will be another approach. Vocational courses, skill courses, their credits will also be used for general degrees. That's a likelihood under the new education policy. We'll also make our floodgates open for internationalization. So they will come to us and we will also go to them. Right now, we are anyway going to them, but they were not coming to us. So we are opening the gates for that. But Indian institutions, many of them have started setting up their operations abroad. Particularly when you see, it can be Manipal, it can be MET, it can be Symbiosis. Some of them are doing that. SRM also now, and various other organizations are trying to do that. And so internationalization is also going to be promoted because we want diversity. And overall, NEP will be delivering the flexibility to the learners. So it's going to be a learner-centric policy in all. Further going on the academic aspects, you will probably see this gives you multiple entry and multiple exit. Yesterday, we were discussing it in some forum. If I can explain you this with an example, that right now when you're doing an engineering program from Arya College of Engineering, let's say it comes under RTU or whichever university, doesn't matter. Most of them will say you will enter at a 0th year here in July, and after 4 years you will graduate. If you fail in one subject, you will not graduate. If you don't complete it in time, you will be inside this pipe kind of a thing of 4 years. Now what happens is this pipe is now like a flute. It will have many holes. Depending upon from which hole the flute is allowed to work, it will give you a different tone. It will give you a different you can say the frequency and music, and that is what it's going to be now. The pipe is going to be now slotted pipe. There will be holes in this. It will be punctured or it will be leaky. And from that, depending upon how you play the flute, you'll probably find out. A student will come out after second year or third year. He may still have a knowledge of something and useful for job, or may not have. It's a different thing. You will lose what you call degree centricity with that. You will not necessarily try to finish the degree. If you want a job, you can leave the job after 1 year, of course, if you are getting job, and then again after some time you can come and do that. So there will be multiple exit is a new phenomena, and those who are from electrical electronics probably would know that this is nothing but MIMO kind of a system, multiple input, multiple output. MIMO is a very famous system used for communication, particularly smart and active antennas and mobile communication. It is on that basis we coined this particular term, multiple entry and multiple exit. Of course, NEP is going to promote the mother tongue and languages. Yesterday, there was an announcement from AICT that they are going to teach engineering courses in 7 mother tongues or 7 different languages, which may be anyone's mother tongue. There will be importance for arts and humanities subjects which are there. And similarly, there will be a single entrance examination for all the types of courses, so that after 12th, based on your performance, you can decide. Right now, you have to freeze everything at 9th, 10th, or 11th, whether I want to do engineering stream or science stream or medical stream or commerce stream or arts stream. You may not have to do that. If everything under the plan at NTA works, then it will be a single test. I perform very well, I'll go to whatever I desire. I don't do that, I'll get slightly lesser choices, but still many choices will be available to me and I don't have to freeze myself. The education will also become very, very important and useful for adult education or mature learners. You may do your graduation by 25. If you are engineering, you will be an engineer before 25, I'm sure, most of you. But you will work up to 75 because the average age is going to increase and working age is also going to increase. So when you work for 50 years, next 50 years, in an age where doubling every 12 hours, you will possibly have a challenge that how to update yourself, how to learn new things, how to change your direction. You may move from, you can say, basic engineering to research, and from research to academics, and from academics to management, and from management to entrepreneurship, or whatever it may be. How to change those directions, and therefore mature learners education is important. For next 50 years, once again, you will remain a student, may not be full-time, may not be sitting in class. So education policy, NEP is providing support for that also. There'll be lots of examination reforms like open book, on demand, and group examination. When I say group, it's even for theory, there can be group examinations which can be there. Theory also, I'm saying. And finally, a big scheme of NEP is nothing but an academic bank of credit. And this academic bank of credit is a policy with potential of something very big for students, that they can study anytime, anywhere, any mode, any time. You probably know 24/7, anywhere. You can be sitting in Russia or US and still taking this lecture or class. Any mode, can be a TV mode, can be a web mode, can be a recorded mode, can be a live, synchronous, asynchronous, can be a face-to-face. Modes can be many. And by the way, UGC has just last week announced the blended mode teaching learning scheme, on which also I had worked as a part of the committee. Was made public, I think, 30th or 20th. Go and visit the UGC website and you'll find the report for the blended teaching learning. So that will talk about all those modes. And then, of course, now languages also. All these features are going to be the new features, new approach. Otherwise, we used to tell we teach in English medium or Hindi medium or some medium, and the poor students coming from distant places will suffer. So that would not happen. So these are the academic aspects. I go to the other aspects of the NEP. and that is number one, it's going to increase the gross enrollment ratio to 50%. I hope you know what is gross enrollment ratio. It is number of students joining the higher education divided by the number of students graduating or clearing 12th standard. In percentage terms, it's defined as GER. India's current GER is 27% around, which has happened in 74 years. And in next 15 years, we have to almost double the GER. And not only that, the GER base is also, the number of people in the country are also increasing. So number of 12th graders will also increase. So this will be more than doubling in my opinion. And then you will probably see that this will be supported by technology in a big way. We would not have so many teachers. We cannot graduate so many teachers. The expansion required will be very heavy in terms of institutions. So all those institutions which are going to do good will be thriving because the expansion is going to be very fast in times to come, almost doubling in next 15 years compared to just a growth of very little in terms of growth in last 70 years. And so let's see this in a positive sense. The budget allocation for education is going to be tremendously high, 6% of GDP, but we don't know how much of actually it will be given. That's a target they've given, but this kind of a target was given earlier also, but it was not practiced very effectively. Even now in the current budget, it is not practiced. So let's keep our fingers crossed that this will happen. To drive our research, like US, we have also created a National Research Foundation, which will be established, which will be funding a lot of nationally coordinated projects, important projects, and all the institutions across the country for research. So that will be a positive step. This will be in addition to all existing bodies of ISRO, BRNS, CSIR, DST,
Sir, you are not audible. Sir, we can see your slide, but you are not audible.
hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I don't know what went wrong. My Wi-Fi is seemingly okay right now. Okay, there was no issue here, but somewhere it happened. So can I go back and share again?
Yes, sir. You can do so.
Okay, so I will go to my slide. So we are about to conclude on the other aspects of NEP. Since the webinar or this session is on NEP, I've introduced a lot to you about NEP, that what NEP is about. So as I've said, there are many special things which are there in this NEP, which are important for us. And we are able to do all that here. So there will be a blended approach for teaching learning, which will be followed. And there will also be multiple entry and multiple exit, which I've already said. There will be a good news for faculty development, that there'll be a lot of money and efforts allocated for that. So faculty will be strengthened, they'll be trained, and there'll be a regular requirement. And the best of all will be that there'll be a new regulatory framework. And this framework is called as HECI. Some of you might have heard this particular name. And this new regulatory framework details are given, Higher Education Commission of India. So it will get rid of most of the existing councils like AICT or maybe UGC or I don't know, Dental Council or Pharmacy Council or Architecture Council or Teachers Education or Agriculture or whatever, because they were all taking the education in different directions in certain ways. And sometimes they were colluding with the directions given by UGC, AICT, central bodies and institutions were at loss. Not only that, they were dividing the libraries and the grounds and the buildings into small spaces. And that was not good. And therefore, it's a good step that they have been combined, and I don't know why BCI and MCI has been left out, but most of it is combined. So that's a good new regulatory framework going to come. Existing bodies which are there will not vanish. They will still do their job, but they will do mainly for the professional standards setting rather than the educational standard setting. I hope you understand that Council of Architecture will still decide what architects do once they come to the profession, but not necessarily in the education space. Something like that is the framework suggests. And under the HESI, there will be 4 new bodies which will be created. One of them will be called as a National Higher Education Regulatory Council, NHERC. The points have been given. What will be their role? The National Accreditation Council. Accreditation needs to be improved. Quality needs to be improved. So that will again be a centralized body rather than NBA and NAC. There will be a centralized body. Higher Education Grants Council for funding and all that. There will be one HEGC. And finally, there will be one General Education Council, GEC, for learning outcomes, graduate attributes and skills and credit transfers and all this qualification framework, skill qualification frameworks and various things will be there. So hopefully this new setup framework, once it sets in, it will do a lot of good to us. It will remove the bottlenecks, red tapeism. If there are issues of delays and clarity on policies not handled, those probably would be done now under the new framework. So let's remain hopeful for that. Okay. So in general, if I talk of, so that's the introduction for NEP. I'll take another 20 minutes, I will say, for my ABC part, though it's very extensive. I'll not be able to explain everything to you, but I hope you will get the gist of it, and rest when you read on the UGC regulations. Once again, it's given on the website. You'll probably understand more about it. And if you don't, do write to me. I'll solve your you can say confusions if at all they are there. So what are the educational transformations we require right now? Number one, a student would like to pick the teacher whom he or she likes, and also pick the timing, because they like to study in afternoon or evening or morning or whatever that may be. That's a fancy we have, and therefore flexibility and quality would be there for a student's requirement. The student will also say that, no, I want this course to be advanced and this course to be moderate and this course to be introductory. So needs and interests can also be matched in a certain way by deciding which course you want to do if that course is required. I can also design my degrees, and if you can possibly see, this is a matter of discussion today in Times of India. Yesterday evening it was published at 9:30. This is based on the report which we are given in ABC, that you can do designer's degree. You do a lot of special food, you get it made to your taste. You do a lot of special clothes. You go to boutiques and get your clothes made. You do many other things in your life about your housing and car transport to your design. Now, education is equally important, and why should it be left out from your design, from your liking? And therefore, the student centricity comes with the design your degrees. Study through any mode. I already explained you multi-mode. That's the real world. Sometimes I eat in restaurants, sometimes at my home, sometimes at my friends, sometimes I eat in a buffet, sometimes I do sitting, sometimes I just do a snacking, and then my part is done. So multi-moding is there in everything in life. So study can also be multi-mode. It can be face-to-face, it can be online, it can be distance, it can be virtual, it can be on the site of an industry, it can be through a training, it can be through a project, it can be through a hackathon. Various things can be given credits for my study. It can be through writing projects and proposals and things of that nature. It can be through some management activities. So there are many things. And learning on demand or examination on demand, particularly when I am ready, I eat. When I am ready to sleep, I sleep. Things like that I do in my life. Same thing could be done even for the academics. Obviously, it cannot be infinite facility, but at least I can say, okay, I don't want to appear in the examination in this cycle. I'll appear in the next cycle because I'll be better prepared. I'm a slow student. So I can possibly say that partly it will be my demand that which one I want, and I appear in that and when ready. So if I say, if these are the kind of major shifts a student would want, your son, your wards, your relatives, your friends, neighbors would want these, those who are going to come to higher education. You may be a teacher, you may not like some of the points for whatever reason, doesn't matter, but they will demand. So what is the answer for all of them? I don't know whether I can question you and you can give me the answer right now, but the answer for all that, what I have listed here, is nothing but the ABC, the Academic Bank of Credit. So it's going to redefine the education. It's going to redefine the way we operate. It's going to redefine the interest of the students. It's going to be a very open-ended policy. But that doesn't mean that it will change everything all of a sudden. No, the change will gradually be accepted as people become mature, understand, institutions accept and adopt it. The changes will happen. But those who will run the changes faster will be able to attract better students, is in my opinion. So I've already given the dreams of the students or the transformations which are required. And by the way, this slide is available on the UGC website. If you see the blending of the blended teaching learning, in that this particular slide is kind of given in the report also. But these are the reasons or the key drivers for change or ABC. Number one, remove the silos based approach. What it basically, number two is multidisciplinary approach. Both of them put together, you can say that I can take 5 courses from engineering, 5 from management, 5 from commerce, 5 from pharmacy, maybe 5 from economics and things like that, and I can make 40 courses which I need to study to get my degree, and I can still get my degree. Degree may not have a stamp of engineering or commerce or arts, but degree may have a new stamp, which I'll explain to you later. And therefore, it will be removing the disciplinarity to a higher extent. But still, I want to do only engineering, I can continue with the engineering. It's my choice. Institution will not enforce on me, but someone is very keen that let's say cooking or whatever, they can do some courses of hotel management. Someone is very good at music, they can do music courses with engineering. Someone is very creative in terms of films and making and drama and this, probably can do courses of that. So you never know. It's not necessary that when you do engineering, you only become a technical employee or do technical job. You become an IAS officer, you become a banker, you become a film director, you become an actor, you become a sports person. And therefore, while doing your courses, you can learn something new. That's the feature which this policy ABC gives you. It also gives you the student autonomy, which is generally not there. Right now, we tell students, if you have to come to my institution, you do all these courses which I'm telling you, and after 4 years, if you clear all that, you'll get a degree. There is no autonomy to the student. We also freeze their courses. This semester, you have to do this 6 or 8 or 7. This is the time for examination. This is the time for class. No autonomy to the student. And even where we say electives, we don't give them autonomy to select electives. Electives are also, in large number of cases, forced or imposed, that we don't have teachers to teach the other electives or your class is too small like that. And finally, if I start my courses, let's say someone has forced me to do engineering in first year, but I'm not liking it as a young student, then in second year, I can go to BBA. And someone will advise me and I'll go to BBA. And when I go to BBA, I again find that BBA is also not of interest to me, and I can go to the arts or performing arts or music or something like that. And I go in third year there. In such a case, I can change the educational track, and large number of my courses will be counted towards my degree, and I'll still graduate in 3 years. Chances are there. In the conventional method, your first year is lost when you go to BBA, and your second year is lost when you go to performing arts. So you keep losing years in the conventional mode. In this mode, you'll not lose the years, and you can allow to change the educational tracks. Tracks means directions from engineering to medical to science to commerce to whatever that may be. And ultimately, it helps you to fulfill the desire or the quest for knowledge which is required, that you want to learn what you want to learn while you are in job or while you are studying, doesn't matter, irrespective of whatever is taught. So this is the feature ABC gives. And just a definition of ABC, which we have given in the regulation, is basically an academic service through variety of modes, which may be digital, virtual, online, physical, and all that. And then obviously it gives you various features also in terms of what we call facilitate students to become account holders. And so there'll be a bank-like thing. And in the bank, you will open an account, and through that account, you will deposit all your credits and other things. And then the ABC Bank will be a formal system for credit recognition, credit accumulation, credit transfer, credit redemption to promote. So credit will be the new currency रुपए पैसा जैसा होता है हमारा, it will be a new currency, and through those credits you can buy a diploma, degree, certificate, or postgraduate diploma, or you will not bother about that. You can transact money to money also. Someone can take you in job based on your credit itself. You don't have to convert credits into a degree or a paper form. People can, and a lot of good companies, Googles and Amazons and Microsofts, have started taking people with required skills and credits only, and they don't want their degrees to be completed. ABC in that sense is supporting that people can do whatever they want to do. Ultimately, ABC is also about the flexibility. It's a provision for innovative and interchangeable curricular structure to enable creative combination of courses, programs, in disciplines leading to various things, and also allow multiple entry, multiple exit, and also removing rigid curricular boundaries, so multidisciplinarity, and creating possibilities for lifelong learning. So if you read these two definitions, I hope you will understand most of the points about ABC. In terms of implementation, there are challenges. I'll discuss you something about the challenges and implementation, because your webinar is mainly about implementation. So I'll discuss something. So ultimately, it will help deliver student-centric education, and credits will be the new currency for higher education. So that's what we are trying to say in this particular case. Now, if I see the building blocks, since we have less time left, Arunji, do let me know if I can exceed time by 10 minutes. Can I? Or Madam Bhargav?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Oh,
sir.
fine. Let me see. Then I'll try to finish by 12:05 or so, something like that. Okay?
Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
Okay, so just see the ABC building blocks. Even that report is available possibly in some form in the UGC website, and this diagram you can see it there. If I just say there can be many blocks, one could not have put many blocks. So if you see, first block says any subject combinations, I've explained to you. Second, you can mix the mode, as you can see in the purple color, regular, distance, online, virtual, and all that you can do. Third is it's a lifelong enabler. The fourth is you can study in any national or international or other such bodies or institutions, sometimes simultaneously also. You don't have to finish in Arya or in Marwadi University where I'm working and then go to another one. No, you can study in both of them simultaneously. You can convert credits into degrees and diplomas, I have explained to you. But this concept I have not explained. On the top right, Bachelor of Liberal Education. So I give you an example. I take 5 courses from engineering, 5 from pharmacy, 5 from management, 5 from arts or economics or music, whatever. In that case, if my degree or my courses are not reflecting in specialization, in that case, I can get a new degree called Bachelor of Liberal Education. That is what we have coined, and we are trying to promote under the ABC framework, that you are liberal, you wanted to learn certain things, you have learned it, and that is what your degree says about. That is a feature of ABC in terms of the overall features. So please understand the black remarks which I put beneath each block. So in the first one, the notion of specialization is broken and therefore more interdisciplinarity. In the second one, the mode notion of mode is changed and therefore it's flexible education. In the number 3, lifelong learning, so fast and slow you can go, multiple entry and multiple exit, so notion of time is broken. Here the notion of space is broken, national and international campuses and locations, everything is broken. You can study from 3 institutions simultaneously in India at a given point of time. However, there will be some limitation that you cannot register 20 courses or 30 courses. There will be some limitations which will be there. And then you can convert, obviously, the currency, or the currency for education was only degrees. Now it will be going to be credits. And finally, it is a notion of branches. So you can make the degrees to your choice, or as we call designer's degree, or a student's choice for degree. So that these are the building blocks of an ABC. I hope you understand. I hope you like it. It's giving a lot of freedom, and enjoying freedom, exercising freedom, implementing freedom can be a big challenge. So let's take it as a big challenge. My take here is that this will be a very useful policy. In the end, I'll try to tell you why it will be very useful. These are some of the objectives which are there, which again possibly we have written in the document. So first one is it's going to be student or learner centric. The second one, students can select the best courses or combinations and teachers and fulfill their thirst for the knowledge that they want to acquire. Most of you sit in the classes many times when you say teacher is not good, subject is not good, institution is not good. If it is not good, it is your duty to change it, and you can go to other institution provided you follow certain norms. You can tailor make your degrees rather than go for ready-made degrees which a technical university gives, and that's another feature. Other feature have multiple entry, multiple exit. You can also do the teaching learning in distributed and blended mode. You can do it along your life and work, while rather than finishing engineering degree in 4 years, you can do it in 8, 10 years. No problems, as long as your credits are valid, and credit validity has certain time, you can always get a degree. And then you have freedom to choose the academic directions and change the academic directions. I already given you the example that one can move from engineering to let's say business administration to arts, and vice versa is also possible. It's not that engineering is superior and something is inferior. No, it's all equal in my opinion, and as far as ABC is concerned. Some definitions for ABC we required because we use the program and course interchangeably. So we have standardized. Course will be one subject which will comprise and make the program of study. Program of study will mean the one which you will get a degree named after, or degree named is what will be called as this thing. And there'll be selected institutions which will participate in ABC. There'll be some qualifying marks to begin with, but ultimately over a period of time, ABC will be allowed to large number of institutions. But right now there'll be some specified institutions based on the NAC and NBA criteria. Those will be selected. That's my opinion. There will be an importance of credit in ABC, and I'm now talking about the implementation aspect. This was also an implementation aspect. This is also an implementation aspect. That credit means standard methodology of calculating 1 hour of theory per 1 hour, or tutorial, or 2 hours of laboratory per week. You know, most of your schemes are CBCS, credit-based things which are there, and UGC is following that, AICT is following that, and I'm sure RTU and other technical universities are also following that. So in this credit definitions, we have standardized credit awards, credit accumulation, credit recognition, credit redemption, credit transfer, money accumulation, money to money, fixed deposit redemption, and all that. In the same way, credits can be your academic money which is there. And then of course other things in terms of these things are given. Integration of various disciplines is very possible. Significant autonomy to this is also given. And this leaky pipe example which was there, or a pipe, whatever name you can give. So if this was your education domain reflected in a physical form, 0th year and 4th year, here you get a degree and here you get entry from 12th standard. Now you can go out and in, and therefore this will be the new aspect of the ABC credit. Institutional eligibilities, as I was telling you, will be based on certain NAC and NBA kind of a criteria, based on some accreditation status, which will be there. For an autonomous institution, it may be different. For an affiliated institution, it may be different. For something else, it may be different. In most cases, we are prescribing that institutions will run those courses which they are running. But wherever they want to offer ABC courses, they will create 20% supernumerary seats. 20% supernumerary. Suppose I'm teaching a course on AI, or I'm doing a course on business management. I will create 20% supernumerary seats, and people outside my institution or within my institution can come and take those courses and then add diversity to their education. So that's how the capacity will be created for the ABC. You don't have to run an ABC as a special program. ABC will be the existing things which are there. And obviously for ABC, we require a suitable infrastructure, which will be audiovisual aids, e-resources, virtual classrooms, studios, bandwidths, internet connectivity, support for ODL, online programs, and other infrastructural facilities for face-to-face also, because ABC can be both in face-to-face, ODL, online mode, which are there. And finally, ABC will be run as a scheme, so there will be a separate portal in each website of each institution, that what are they offering under ABC, how many seats are there, what are the programs, courses, what are there is given in that. ABC core functions, I need not explain to you here too much about that, because that will be more core functions are related basically to the institutions. that institutions will deposit. Suppose I am a student doing ABC course, Arya College will deposit my credits to the ABC bank. I cannot deposit it. Okay, so that's the rule which is given here. Major functions of ABC will be opening and closing of those accounts and credit verification, and all that will also happen. Courses retail virtual lab can also be considered for credit transfer and accumulation. So those will also come into the mainstream, which is there. And ABC can be offering many different norms in terms of curriculum, contains, technologies to be used, examinations, evaluations, attendance possibly will not be mandatory, which is required to be 75%. And in any case, those will be defined by the institutions themselves. I am offering ABC. What will be my rules under ABC? Some of those will be defined. Most of the credits earned under ABC would be valid for 7 years. Till that time, you can encash them and convert them into degrees and diploma. Otherwise, they'll remain as credit in your bank, which will be there. And there are various other things that all the programs will come under ABC, except for medical and dental and law, which are slightly special. Their councils will have to give the approval. Broadly, AICT and UGC has given, but medical, dental, law, etc. will have to come under that, and they can do. And finally, ABC, under ABC, a student can choose 100% of the course as per their choice without worrying about what combinations and where it will lead to. And if the combinations are little mixed and not very clear, they will get a degree of Bachelor of Liberal Education, as I've already told you. Some of the things in terms of organization, that how it will be delivered. So you might have heard of National Academic Depository, where all your results and degrees and all are there. So similarly, there will be an ABC bank for ABC, NED-like body will be there for ABC, which will be an online or virtual storehouse for everything. And it will be allowing you the transaction. NAD does not allow you the transaction, that you can only see and view the result and verify it. ABC will allow you the transaction because you'll try to convert degrees into diplomas, credits into diplomas and certificates. So there's a small change which will be there between the two, but broadly they are the same. ABC by itself, that bank itself will not give the degree. Degree will have to be given by the degree awarding university only. And therefore they may have a rule saying that if you do 30% of the courses from my university, you will be eligible to ABC degree if you so wish. Otherwise, you do 100%, you will get my degree. But if you want a ABC degree, you may do 40%, 30%, 50%. So some rules will be there, and like that you can get it. So ultimately, you can say that you will have a unique account for yourself under ABC in digital form, where all your records from wherever you might have studied, whichever language you might have used, whatever performance you might have had, all that will be recorded and will be available. And based on that, you can tell that how capable I am, what do I know, and I can go to a potential employer and sell myself, saying this is what I know, please take me for the job. Right now, they depend too much on the institution saying, oh, what is your degree, and your degree is qualified, and your credits are qualified, and you are accredited or not. So sometimes you suffer because of the institution. Now the control will be in your hand. That is what we are trying to say. There are a few more points about the ABC implementation, that they will register, they'll follow certain things, there'll be some dynamic online directories, and percentage of courses which can be taken or not taken, or allowed or not allowed, how the rules will be modified. All those things have been outlined by us for the ABC implementation, and I hope very soon you will see the announcements for that. Already the announcements are there on the UGC website, but at a much larger scale, ABC will be announced. And then once again, we'll possibly come back to you and train some of you. And these are some of the implementation aspects. I cannot discuss it because of paucity of time. And I don't want you to take into everything right now, because first you'll have to understand the gist of this thing and something like that. For example, one point in front of implement, once I use a credit for redeeming and converting into a degree, I cannot change it. I cannot convert it back to credit and again convert it to a new degree. That's not possible. So the credit transfer would be, or conversion and uses will be irrevocable, means it cannot be changed once again. And similarly, based on the sufficiency of the credits and this and that, one can become eligible for award of degree from any institution which is offering ABC scheme. You need not fix. You may do 30% courses from my university, 30% from Arya. You may still get a degree from another institution, doesn't matter. So that kind of a flexibility is there. So there are so many things which are defined here, and so these are the implementation aspects which are there. One implementation aspect is the fee will not be a course fee. Fee will be a credit fee now. You don't have to do the course fee in one go. You will pay the fee in installments. You will pay the fee, and there may be some add-on in terms of registration and handling and other things which may be there. So ultimately the fee will also become the credit based, which many of the international agencies do that. So you will decide, okay, from Arya college I'm doing so many credits, I'll pay so much. From this college, NIT Jaipur, Marwadi college, I'm doing so many, and based on that you can deposit and move further. So those are all implementation aspects. And we'll also do the quality monitoring and other things like we do in conventional courses. So like a NAC and NBA, we may also have a body here, or we may also have internal bodies, which may be either IQAC cell or CQC cell, which is generally dealing with the online and distance education. So there'll be an internal mechanism, there'll be an external mechanism, there'll be a grievance redressal mechanism at centers level or UGC level, and at the university level also. So there are various things which are there, which are going to be shown in this particular case of ABC. So ultimately, you can say ABC is going to be a happening scheme, important scheme, implementable scheme, and which will be possibly be liked by the student. And why I say it is going to be advantageous, I leave it to you to read. There are some key advantages which are there, that you can make your own degrees. You don't have to depend on the standard things like you develop when you order your food, you make your own pizza with topping and cheese and base and all that you do. Same thing you do with the clothing, same thing you do with your various other things in housing and automobile. So that's one thing which is very, very important. Now the equivalences of degrees, which sometimes is a very, very big problem, and as AI president I have handled those, so that will vanish. We will simply have to see how many credits you have earned, and based on that the equivalences can be given. Right now we are very sensitive to the timing. Oh, you have spent 2 years for PG or 1.5 years. You might have done the same courses, same result, but if it is 1.5 years, we don't give you equivalence. If it is 2 years, we give you equivalence. Some people cheat by failing and then making that degree complete in 2 years and saying that they have done in 2 years. So there are a lot of drama and difficulty. Those will vanish. All the vocational skill courses will also get the self-esteem. And biggest thing which I'm giving you, it's best suited for the top level students, as they can go fast and attain degrees at higher levels or maybe faster. So the top 10% of a given class can go fast, and rather than 4 years, they can do the degree in 3.5 years. Similarly, the slowest student who knows that he cannot cope up with the courses can go slow. Rather than studying 6 subjects, he'll study only 4 subjects and complete the degree rather than in 4 years, in 6 years, and he without failing. And so it's good for a poor student, it's good for a fast student also, good student also. If a certain scheme fits well for the extreme cases of a set, in a given set of students, we have extreme cases, very bright students, very poor students, in between the average students. It fits very well for the bright students, it fits very well for the poor students also, and therefore it fits very well for the people who are in median range or average student. And therefore this ABC scheme, in my opinion, is going to fulfill the requirements of all the students. Come to my conclusion, as it is here, so will drive and improve the education in terms of quality and diversity. It will provide autonomy to the students, which is not there. Autonomy is even poor to the faculty, let me tell you, but to students, it's virtually not there for us, and therefore it will go to that level. The teaching learning process under ABC has to be supported by technology. Without technology, ABC cannot be delivered. So technology will have to be adopted and taken in, whether it is online or virtual laboratories or proctored examination or AI for student counseling and guiding and all that, checking your answer scripts and all that will happen, in my opinion. So that's the technology. And finally, ABC will make education anytime, anywhere, any mode, any language, any speed, and many specializations, particularly with the advent of academic bank of credit. And the final word on this is the General Education Council under HESI would be the one likely to drive the ABC scheme as far as its regulations and control is concerned. So this is all about the the ABC system, my dear friends. This is all about the NEP, which I wanted to share with you. I hope you have liked, I hope you have understood something in terms of what we are trying to do. And therefore, sincerely hope that you have got some insight into this particular form of mode, if I may say so, and hope ABC is what you are going to adopt in future as well for your education delivery and for the benefit of the students. So with that, I would like to close my address, but I'm now ready for Q&A. Ask me as many questions as you can ask if you have those questions. If you have found it interesting, I'm sure you should have some questions. So I'm open, Arunji. I'm open, Madam Bhargava.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And now, if there are any queries, the participants can please put forward their question.
Whosoever has some query, please raise your hand so that uh, the organizer, Mr. Vikas Mishra, sir, he will unmute you. Uh, yes, Dr. Vivakar Pathak, sir, he has some query. Sir, please.
Yeah, Vibhakarji, you can shoot your question. If unmuting is a problem, let them type it in the comment or something like that, and I can read it in the chat if you allow, if you have.
Okay, the participants can also type the queries in the chat box, and
or you can read them. You can read them, madam. If whatever.
Vivakar sir, you can unmute yourself.
Vivakar, sir, please unmute yourself.
Already unmuted.
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
my question is from college perspective. What will be we have if you're going for a skill education in first year and different type of education in second, third year and fourth year, and we will be following all type of courses, not only engineering and all. What then there will be a problem of affiliation. We should affiliate with the different type of universities at that time. How can we?
No. Why should you affiliate with different type of universities, and why should education be bifurcated in too many silos? We are trying to remove those silos.
Okay.
Skill
And
is
there
as
will be
required as design as much as the general knowledge. Why divide that you are a skill university, you are a innovation university, you are a normal teaching learning, you are a research university? I think those notions are wrong. World over, those are not necessarily followed. While I may be a university, I may focus on something is a different thing, but you don't have to affiliate with anyone. In fact, if I study courses at your place, Vakarji, I may not necessarily go for your degree. I may get a degree from another institution because you will transfer my credit to ABC Bank, and I'll take a degree from wherever I want, provided I follow their norms. Okay. So this is giving high degree of freedom both to academic institutions as well as to the students.
The second question same on the same line that if I have done a course from Arya College Jaipur for 1 year, then I go to Delhi, I take second 1 year course from any institute in Delhi, then I go to Bangalore and take 2 years course from Bangalore. Which university will award me the degree?
You will decide. Why should any university come and back to you that take my degree? You will decide, provided you fulfill their norms. To give a degree under ABC, there will be norms given by the university, like 30% of the courses should be done from my institution, then only I'll give you my degree. Why 30% may be required or 40% may be required? Because you need to be taught teamwork, you need to be taught the culture, you need to be exposed to certain other aspects of education. When you co-work with others, you also need to have an exposure to face also, various things. So let's say the Bangalore University will say, if you do 40% of the courses from my university, including the project, we will give you degree if you want. So that person may go. Let's say Arya can say, if you've done 25% courses from our side and you might not have done project with us, does not matter, we will give you a degree. Then a student may come to Arya also, or he may choose between Bangalore and Arya, whatever he wants. Do you understand that? Okay.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so if there is any other queries, the participants can raise their hands. We'll provide you the mic.
We have a hand from Mr. Vatsal and also Mr. Kuldeep. Yeah.
Please provide the mic to Mr. Vatsal and Kuldeep Singh.
Sir, how will be this new education policy beneficial for final year students?
Are you a student, by the way? Are you a student
Yes,
right now? Okay.
yes, sir. I'm a student.
Now, look, the policy will come into place by, let's say, this June. Let's expect that it will happen in June. So slowly and gradually, all stakeholders will start understanding it and implementing it and enrolling in it and then rolling out the thing. So maybe for final years, there will be a very limited change which can happen during this limited time of 6 months or 1 year. But some of them can adopt this freedom. For example, the last 6 months can be given to you to go to another institution abroad or within India, do entire semester there or project in industry and come back and get your degree. Those changes can be brought in at a short notice. Your academic council, your RTUs, academic bodies will be competent to do those changes if they wish. And once those changes are done by them, you can take advantage of ABC. But I'm sure after 1 year, most of the batches will be taking fullest advantage. But to begin with, it will take some time for people to adopt to it, accept it, understand it, and then do the changes and then implement it. Okay? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Vatsal.
Mr. Kuldeep Singh, you can ask your question.
Post-graduation degree.
Yeah, please tell me. Tell your point clearly, Kuldeep ji.
So like I'm in the final year. Next time if I have to pursue a post graduation, maybe it's MBA or MTech. How will it exactly work in there?
It has no differentiation for UG or PG. It can work in the same way for both of them. Okay, you will have the same degree of freedom, same choices of courses and institutions, same rules and regulations can be applied to both UG and PG. So this will be a policy, ABC will be a policy which will not discriminate between any student to any student, any degree to any degree, any institution to any institution, except that to begin with, who can become a partner in ABC scheme will be decided by the government based on certain criteria. So there, because otherwise if we allow everyone to become a partner, then there'll be 50,000 institutions becoming partner and everyone doing a wrong job. It will not be good. So when we start something big and fundamentally change, then we'll have to do a controlled experiment and controlled growth. So though this will be controlled, but still it will be very large in my opinion. It will not be a very small group, it will be a large group as far as I know. Okay, so there is no change between UG and PG, and you should certainly take advantage of what you want to do.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So good afternoon. My name is Dr. Akhil Pandey. I have one question.
Yeah.
Sir, as per this new education policies concern, this is fully focused with the student choice and their diversity and their expertise domain where they want to take the expertise in future aspect. Fine. So after, as you are telling that there will be some governing rule and regulation for the credit-based policy with the different education institution. If one student is moving 1 year in a X, 1 year in a Y, and 1 year in a Z college, then according to the credit, the student will choose the college to take the degree of the particular college. So is there any governing process higher education policy is defined to accommodate the whole college system or the universities to follow the same guidelines?
You mean to say upgrade? You
No,
said
no.
upgrade. No, update.
No, governing policy in terms for the different education system, education colleges, institutions.
No, so ABC has defined how and what it should be. Now it is for universities to accept it, because universities have the degree awarding power. Okay, they will accept it, and colleges are affiliated to degree awarding institutions. Okay, so they will accept. If they like, they will accept. If they don't like, they will not accept it. Doesn't matter. Okay, and based on the needs and the interest you have as a university, you will change your regulations. All those things have been done. It's not going to be imposed on students. It's not going to be imposed on teachers. It's not going to be imposed on the universities also. It will be a willing effort that you want to change or not. And based on that, the changes will happen. So ultimately, to begin with, we expect around, to begin with, 10% students will take advantage. 80% may, 90% may remain in the same status quo. I think you understand that logic. When I go to eat, particularly in southern part of India, suppose I'm going during lunchtime, generally people will not give a la carte. They will give only a standard thali order. And some of the restaurants only offer thali that you want. You come at lunchtime, take that thali, will not give you special things right now. So your current offerings are like thali, and the ABC will be something like a la carte. A la carte means one can choose and tell, I want to do this and that. And thali would be something like a standard meal which you are getting, or a standard degree which you are getting. So it will all choice based. It is all to be decided by you and not by the UGC or AICT and the government. Government has only created a framework so that you can follow something and respect that procedure. Okay, I hope I have answered.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So there will be two parallel system will execute in the later on.
The existing system we are not removing at all. That's what I said. The existing system will continue. Those students who are not matured, can they decide anything? No. So they cannot. When I go to a restaurant, I am not so knowledgeable about food. So I simply say, give me thali, or I'll ask someone else to order for me, because I'm not so knowledgeable on the food. So maybe the case with an student that he's not so knowledgeable about the academic choices he wants to exercise. In that case, he will say, okay, whatever Arya College gives me as a degree in computer science, I'll go. And he'll go for with a standard prescription like that. Okay, so it will be many modes which will be there. It's not one mode. We are not going to remove any mode from here. It will be only a freedom of modes which we are giving right now. Okay.
So as Arya College, we can go for both the modes.
Why both? I'm saying many modes. Why are you confined to two modes? You can do your education through a skill mode or vocational mode or classroom mode or online mode or distance mode or entire degree, if you wish, possibly can be done in the industry, sitting in industry, provided you follow certain norms. Okay, you cannot dilute those which are there, but you can earn a degree while doing everything in the industry. For example, a PhD can be earned while you're sitting in a lab, isn't it? I may be in a DRDO lab and I can do all the courses which are required on online, no problems. And I can do rest of my research because facilities exist in the research lab and I get my degree. So these are the freedoms. There are no two modes. I have not said there are two modes at all. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Nirmal Sharma is also there. You can ask your question.
Ma'am, it will be the last question
Yes.
because after that, I think at 12:30 some meeting is there. So Sancheti sir will not be available
Okay.
after that.
Okay. So
Hello.
Yeah, I have to join my own program, my own university's program where we invited someone at 12:30. So just one last. Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, how would NEP affect UPSC examination and other competitive examinations?
It will not affect anything. It's your life. You will control it. You prepare and take those subjects which you want to make. All right. And UPSC, even when you do engineering, you take courses of languages and sociology and history, isn't it? So UPSC has nothing to do with it. UPSC tells you where you want to appear and qualify, you do. Okay, and if there is something I don't know much about UPSC right now, that what it requires, but if it requires to be changed, that will also change based on the education policy. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
And
sir.
thank you so much for
And
your interest and questions. I really liked your points which you asked me, and also like that you invited me to deliver this talk. Thank you, Arya College. Thank you, Arun.
thank you, sir, for this. Ha, sir. Ha, sir. Yes, sir.
Please, sir, 2-3 minutes or more.
The 2
Okay,
minutes.
sure, please.
Thank you so much, sir, for this really enlightening and knowledgeable session and introducing us to the different aspects of the new education policy, its merit for the beneficiaries, the various educational transformations, and the nuances of the academic bank of credits. And we are sure that this will be highly beneficial for opening new opportunities in the educational sector. So before I end, I would like to hand over to Professor Arun Arya, sir, for the formal vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to Honorable Professor Dr. Sandeep Sancheti, sir, for sharing his valuable views on the National Education Policy NEP 2020 and making us aware of the various aspects in this area. We are grateful for your gracious presence, sir. Thank you. I would also like to thank all the participants, respected faculties, and dear students from various colleges to attend this webinar and making this a very successful event. The end of the session was really very interactive, and this webinar was really very informative, and this will be highly beneficial for all of us. Thank you, sir. Once again, thanks a lot.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, sir.
Thank you,
And sir,
everybody.
I request all the participants to please switch on their cameras so that we can take a group photograph to make this event memorable.
Okay.
Please switch on the cameras, all the participants. Just a minute, sir, and then we'll conclude.
Sure.
Vikasji, please take the photograph, screenshot.
Yes. There's one more information for participants. The feedback form is available on your email IDs, on your registered email IDs. So please fill the form and submit it before 2 p.m. The certificates will be provided to you after that. So all the participants are required to fill the feedback form. Thank you so much, everyone. So I think we can end this session.
Yes, ma'am.